he told Anna that he loved her. She was having an affair and that she loved Vronsky. Karenina saw Vronsky coming into the Karenina country home. He couldn't stand them keeping adultery impudently anymore. Lev Tolstoy was a Russian writer who primarily wrote novels and short stories. Later in life, he also wrote plays and essays. His two most famous works, the novels War and Peace and Anna Karenina, are acknowledged as two of the greatest novels of all time and a pinnacle of realist fiction. Tolstoy is equally known for his complicated and paradoxical persona and for his extreme moralistic and ascetic views, which he adopted after a moral crisis and spiritual awakening in the 1870s, after which he also became noted as a moral thinker and social reformer.
Now, let's get started.
The Oblonsky family of Moscow was torn apart by adultery. Dolly Oblonskaya had caught her husband, Steva, cheating, and threatened to leave him. Steva was somewhat remorseful but mostly dazed and uncomprehending. Steva's sister, Anna Karenina, wife of the St. Petersburg government official Karenina, arrived at the Oblonskys to mediate. Eventually, Anna was able to bring Steva and Dolly to a reconciliation. Meanwhile, Dolly's younger sister, Kitty, was courted by two suitors, Konstantin Levin, an awkward landowner, and Alexei Vronsky, a dashing military man. Kitty turned down Levin in favor of Vronsky, but not long after, Vronsky met Anna Karenina at the station and fell in love with her instead of Kitty. At the time, a drunken guard was crushed to death underneath the train. In an effort to impress Anna, Vronsky gave money to the man's widow. After being dumped by Vronsky, the devastated Kitty fell ill. Levin, depressed after having been rejected by Kitty, withdrew to his estate in the country. Anna returned to St. Petersburg, reflecting on her infatuation with Vronsky, but when she arrived home she dismissed it as a fleeting crush. Vronsky, however, followed Anna to St. Petersburg, and their mutual attraction intensified as Anna began to mix with the free-thinking social set of Vronsky's cousin Betsy Tverskaya. At a party, Anna implored Vronsky to ask Kitty's forgiveness. In response, he told Anna that he loved her. Karenina went home from the party alone, sensing that something was amiss. He spoke to Anna later that night about his suspicions regarding her and Vronsky, but she curtly dismissed his concerns. Some time later, Vronsky participated in a military officer's horse race. Though an accomplished horseman, he made an error during the race, inadvertently breaking his horse's back. Karenina noticed his wife's intense interest in Vronsky during the race. He confronted Anna afterward, and she candidly admitted to Karenina that she was having an affair and that she loved Vronsky. Karenina was stunned. Kitty regretted that she had turned down Levin. Levin recovered from the agonies of broken heart and began to write about agricultural management. Levin's intellectual half-brother, Sergei Koznishev, visited Levin in the country and criticized him for quitting his post on the local administrative council. Levin explained that he had resigned because he had found the work bureaucratic and useless. Levin worked enthusiastically with the peasants on his estate, but was frustrated by their resistance to agricultural innovations. He visited Dolly, who tempted him with talk of reviving a relationship with Kitty. Later, Levin met Kitty at a dinner party at the Oblonsky household, and the two felt their mutual love. They became engaged and married. Anna requested Karenina for a divorce, but he rejected. He insisted that they maintained outward appearances by staying together. Anna moved to the family's country home, however, away from her husband. She encountered Vronsky often, but their relationship became clouded after Anna revealed she was pregnant. Vronsky considered resigning his military post, but his old ambitions prevented him. One day Karenina saw Vronsky coming into the Karenina country home. He couldn't stand them keeping adultery impudently anymore. Finally agreed to divorce. But he told her to take in their son, her beloved Seryoza. Anna, in her childbirth agony, lingering between life and death, begged for Karenina's forgiveness. And he finally granted it. He left the divorce decision in her hands, but she resented his generosity and did not ask for a divorce. Instead, Anna and Vronsky went to Italy, where they led an aimless existence. Eventually, the two returned to Russia, where Anna was spurned by society, which considered her adultery disgraceful. Anna and Vronsky withdrew into seclusion. She began to feel great jealousy for Vronsky, resenting the fact that he was free to participate in society while she was housebound and scorned. Married life brought surprises for Levin, including his sudden lack of freedom. When Levin was called away to visit his dying brother Nikolai, Kitty sparked a quarrel by insisting on accompanying him. Levin finally allowed her to join him. Ironically, Kitty was more helpful to the dying Nikolai than Levin was, greatly comforting him in his final days. Dolly decided to visit Anna, and found her radiant and seemingly very happy. Dolly was impressed by Anna's luxurious country home but disturbed by Anna's dependence on sedatives to sleep. Anna still awaited a divorce. But she couldn't endure to part from her beloved son Seryoza. Both Vronsky and Seryoza were indispensable for her. Levin and Kitty moved to Moscow to await the birth of their baby, and they were astonished at the expenses of city life. Meanwhile, Kitty entered labor and bore a son. One day, Stiva took Levin to visit Anna, whom Levin had never met. Anna enchanted Levin. But her success in pleasing Levin only fueled her resentment toward Vronsky. She grew paranoid that Vronsky no longer loved her. Stiva went to St. Petersburg to seek a cushy job and to beg Karenina to grant Anna the divorce he once promised her. Karenina, following the advice of a questionable French psychic, refused. Anna picked a quarrel with Vronsky, accusing him of putting his mother before her and unfairly postponing plans to go to the country. Vronsky's mother was gonna try to make Vronsky marry a countess. Anna suspected that Vronsky fell in love with the countess. Vronsky tried to be accommodating, but Anna remained angry. When Vronsky left on an errand, Anna was tormented because she thought he had gone to meet the countess. She sent him a telegram urgently calling him home, followed by a profusely apologetic note. In desperation, Anna drove to Dolly's to say goodbye, and then returned home. She resolved to meet Vronsky at the train station after his errand, and she rode to the station in a stupor. At the station, despairing and dazed by the crowds, Anna threw herself under a train and died. After Anna died, Vronsky felt empty of his life. He boarded a train for Serbia to assist in the cause. He wanted to die. Levin worked hard for agricultural management for a living. He still didn't have religious faith. However, having a conversation with the peasants made him realize that no one can explain logically meaning of living in that accord with the teachings of Christian churches. He understood that he had had religious faith by nature, and came to thank God from the heart.
Please subscribe to my channel. We're gonna show you world masterpieces in about 15 minutes with manga. Manga is Japanese-style comics that is easy for everyone to understand. We're sure that you can grasp the context shortly.
See you next time.